I swear I'm not a weirdo. I study animal infectious disease control, and when I was vaccinating pigs, they got so scared they ran all over the place, trampling the experimental field that our campus heartthrob, Ethan, had meticulously cared for.
Ugh, those pigs! Stop running!
Chasing after the pigs left me dizzy, and just then, Ethan arrived. One pig, not content with the chaos, charged straight at him and bit onto his pants, refusing to let go.
What on earth is happening here?
Sorry about that, the pig seems to like you, haha.
I mustered all my strength to pull the pig back, but it was surprisingly strong, causing me to fall right in front of Ethan's muscular thighs. Suddenly, his pants were pulled down, revealing SpongeBob SquarePants boxers.
Nice boxers, Ethan. I wanted a pair too.
Before I could say more, Ethan was gone. I didn't even get to count his abs. These scenes were captured by some enthusiastic classmates and posted on the school forum. I was strongly condemned for harassing the heartthrob and earned the nickname Pig Hugger. The next day, I brought a new pair of pants to Ethan and sincerely apologized.
I'm really sorry about yesterday. Maybe your pants weren't of good quality, they came off too easily. I bought the most expensive pair at the mall, please accept my apology.
I grabbed his arm and dragged him to the men's restroom.
No need to be polite. Go try them on, if they don't fit, I'll exchange them.
I shoved the pants into his arms. Seeing me standing there, other guys hesitated to enter, and those inside quickly left.
If you don't change, I'll help you.
Figure it out yourself.
I immediately let go. 5 minutes later, he came out wearing the new pants.
You look amazing, even better than a model. Those long, smooth legs are truly enviable.
How do you know?
I saw them yesterday, of course. I, as a girl, am envious. Why are you running so fast? I won't eat you.
Another post on the forum speculated that since Ethan was wearing the pants I bought, had I succeeded in winning him over? I commented.
Pig Hugger here, the revolution has not yet succeeded, comrades still need to work hard. My relationship with Ethan is purely one of apology and non-acceptance.
Someone replied.
If I knew the heartthrob was so easy to soften, I would have pulled his pants down too.
Come pull mine, I need a partner.
Please stay on topic, thank you. We are noble-minded students. P.S. The heartthrob's experimental field was trampled by pigs. Maybe it's an opportunity.
I suddenly remembered that the end of the semester was approaching. Ethan's research had been going smoothly until the pigs came along. Finally catching him after class, I rushed up to him.
Ethan, let me help with the experimental field.
No need.
I made a mistake, I should make amends. Don't be polite, we're all in the agriculture department, we're like family. Let's work together to rebuild the experimental field.
Who's family with you?
Don't be so distant. You're still wearing the clothes I bought. Are you going to take them off in public to distance yourself from me?
His face turned red.
Just kidding, don't imagine anything inappropriate, it would be censored.
Hey, what's your name?
I do good deeds without leaving my name. Call me Lay Phone. The red scarf on my chest is even brighter now.
I swear I genuinely wanted to help him with the field, but my methods were all wrong.
When I tell you to dig, you fill the soil. When I tell you to water, you fertilize. If you mess up the proportions, the experimental field is ruined. Are you here to sabotage me?
It was the first time he had said so much. I was a bit excited, but seeing him so angry, I felt guilty and kept bowing to apologize. He clearly had little patience for me, went back to his dorm to change pants, handed me the old ones without a second glance, proud and resolute. I originally wanted to make amends, but I kept making things worse. The forum laughed at me again, dragging Ethan along. Making the aloof heartthrob frequently appear on the school's hot topics added to my guilt. At night, I searched for information related to Ethan's research. I even subscribed to download a bunch of papers, highlighted key points, and organized them into mind maps, separating tables and text, and put them on a USB drive. I thought of many ways to apologize and made a detailed PPT with music. This time, I didn't wait for Ethan to react. As soon as their class ended, I jumped onto the podium and spoke into the microphone.
Ethan, please stay behind.
Ethan's face turned dark. He wanted to leave, but his classmates held him back, some even recording videos.
Mountains are not high, but with you, Ethan, they are famous. Waters are not deep, but with you, Ethan, they are spiritual. I am a simple person, but with your virtue, the experimental field is green. Please listen to my sincere apology.
Ethan looked like he had been struck by lightning, expressionless. I seized the moment to bow deeply.
I study animals, we're not the same species, not the same major. I'm really sorry about the pig incident. Here are some plant research materials I organized, please accept them.
He sneered, unmoved. His classmates cheered.
Take it, take it.
Anyone who didn't know better would think I was confessing to him. I placed the USB drive in front of him and quickly ran away, not giving him a chance to refuse. Shocking, pig hugger confesses to the heartthrob. The post, accompanied by a picture of people surrounding Ethan, quickly topped the forum. Uninformed spectators congratulated us. Someone analyzed.
Pig hugger is such a considerate and sensible girl, rare in this world. Though the heartthrob is untouchable, she bravely seized the opportunity, worth learning from.
Someone refuted.
As a classmate of the heartthrob, there was no confession, just an apology. Please don't spread rumors.
Another analysis.
Even if it wasn't a confession, her actions were to gain attention. Apologizing persistently to pursue him. Once the heartthrob is moved, she can confess and succeed. Would a normal person apologize so persistently?
Am I abnormal?
Please, if I hadn't kept messing up, I wouldn't want to keep apologizing either.
Just as things were calming down, my good friend Chris sent me a screenshot, questioning what was going on and sending an angry emoji.
I thought we were brothers, and you're eyeing the guy I like?
I have no interest in Ethan, believe me.
After much explanation, he finally let it go. Just as I breathed a sigh of relief, someone called me from outside the girls' dorm.
Hi, I'm Ethan's roommate.
Has he forgiven me?
The guy looked at me with pity and shook his head heavily.
He found out your major, class, and name through the forum and has listed you as a key person to avoid. I've known him for years and have never seen him so angry. Sorry to digress. What I wanted to say is the USB drive you gave him had a virus, his computer is completely blacked out, and his thesis might not be recoverable.
What?
I came to ask, where did you find the resource? The virus is so potent, the resource must be great. Do you have any website recommendations?
I really just downloaded the thesis, do you believe me?
Chris is a computer science major, so I asked him if there was any way to save it. He demanded 10 spicy hot pots in return.
As long as you can fix his computer, 20 hot pots are no problem.
Deal.
I dragged Chris to Ethan's lab. Chris couldn't even lift his head, he was so shy.
You're here to fix a computer, not for a blind date, hurry up.
Ethan took a step back and made a stopping gesture.
Senior, this is a computer science expert. He can definitely fix your computer, please give me a chance.
No need.
He turned away coldly.
He's angry.
Lily?
Yes, it's me.
Not you. Glancing at Chris, what's your relationship?
We're best friends.
I hooked Chris's arm, and Chris took the opportunity to wink at Ethan.
This is a restricted area. Unauthorized personnel, please leave.
We were already there, and if we didn't fix his computer, my hot pot would be wasted.
No way. We'll leave once we fix the computer.
He tried to bypass me, but I quickly grabbed him.
Please, the computer can still be saved, give it a chance.
Okay.
Chris was amazed at the lifeless computer.
You say you didn't watch any videos. I don't believe it.
Who would put hundreds of gigabytes of stuff on a USB drive?
Oh, so you did watch?
I didn't.
If it doesn't work, forget it.
Don't say it doesn't work to a man.
Chris quickly operated, the computer successfully booted up, and after some fiddling, the files were also recovered.
Finally.
Seeing it was mealtime, I wanted to invite Ethan to dinner as an end to my apologies. These days, through my interactions with him, I concluded one thing: shamelessness is invincible. Seeing that I wouldn't give up until I achieved my goal, Ethan finally compromised. A top student is different, with a lot of materials. We divided the work reasonably. Chris carried the books, Chris took the backpack, and I helped him with the lightest computer. On the way from the lab to the cafeteria, we passed a pond just deep enough to cover the calves. The school didn't expect 20-something-year-old college students to fall into the water, so there were no fences around the pond. I didn't expect it either, until I fell in.
Lily, what happened?
I missed a step.
Get up first. Trying to pull me up.
Luckily, I reacted quickly, the computer didn't touch the water. Laughing, I'm fine. What are you looking at? Take the computer. The water is quite cold.
He didn't speak, squatted in front of me, and extended his hand.
Get up first.
Chris took the computer and kept giving me looks. Laughing, the onlookers were increasing. If I touched Ethan, who knows what the forum would say about me tomorrow. I nervously pushed away Ethan's hand.
Thanks, senior, I can do it myself.
My fingertips were a bit cold. His face instantly darkened. The water wasn't deep, but the bank was high. I clung to the edge, jumping but couldn't get up. Ethan was very proud, coldly watching without moving. Chris was anxious, freed his hand, and pulled me up. Ethan stared at our clasped hands, his face even darker. That night, the forum exploded. Lily rejected Ethan, successfully holding hands with a mysterious man. In the photo, Chris was anxiously pulling me. I gratefully looked at him, and Ethan's face was as dark as coal. Under the post, some said Ethan was jealous, some said I failed to pursue Ethan and chose a backup, and even more absurdly, some said my tactic was to retreat to advance, flirting with others to stimulate a man's possessiveness. I really believed you guys. How could Ethan be jealous? It was clearly me rejecting his help, making him lose face. I pulled Ethan off the pedestal and dragged him into a non-existent love triangle. In just a few days, what I owed him didn't decrease but increased. What a sin. I squatted in the experimental field for 3 whole days before encountering Ethan. He didn't even lift his eyelids, directly ignoring me.
Senior. Ethan. Chasing after him, you are the wind, you are the light, you are the only legend.
Lily, finals are coming. Are you very idle?
Finals are not as important as you. Compared to failing finals, I was more afraid of Ethan being unhappy. Failing can be retaken. If he got angry, wouldn't I be hunted by all the fangirls in the agricultural college?
His expression softened a bit, but his words were still cold.
Go study, and stay away from me.
Senior, don't go. I've caused so much trouble. I have to make it up to you, whatever you need, I promise to do it.
I hope you stay far away from me.
It's over, he hated me so much, could I still make it up? The next day, I got up early, bought breakfast, and asked a passing senior to deliver it to Ethan. 5 minutes later, a steaming cup of soy milk was in front of me.
How did you know it was me?
Only you are sneaky. I've eaten, return it to you. Also, don't come again.
I've already stayed far away from you as requested. Do you still want to deprive me of the right to buy breakfast?
Aren't you making it up to me? Get first place in the finals, and it will count as making it up to me.
My legs went weak, clinging to his shoulder, wailing.
You might as well kill me.
He stared at my hand, just about to speak. Someone urgently found me.
Are you Lily?
What's up?
I like you.
The person bravely confessed.
You can't reach Ethan, but I'm not demanding. As long as you can cook, make money, and endure hardships, although you're not as good looking as a celebrity, I'll reluctantly give you a chance to be my girlfriend. You mustn't be too grateful.
Sorry, I'm not interested in you. Not being able to reach Ethan is my problem, being so self-absorbed is your flaw.
Do you really like him?
If I said I didn't like him, it would definitely hurt Ethan's self-esteem, but I couldn't lie either. I hesitated.
My feelings for Alex are complicated, it's hard to explain in a few words.
There's more gossip to write about today.
What?
Hand.
I obediently withdrew my hand, and his expression softened.
Which subject are you worst at?
Linear algebra.
He handed me the soy milk, took out his backpack, and said in his usual aloof tone.
Let's go.
Where to?
The library.
I stared at the formulas, feeling drowsy. Ethan poked my head with a helpless smile.
Do you really want to fail?
No.
Considering the breakfast, ask me if you have any questions.
He casually wrote a few lines, and the answer appeared. At that moment, he seemed to be glowing.
I have a question.
He looked up, his beautiful eyes making my heart skip a beat.
Your birthday is coming up, what gift would you like?
His expression darkened, and he squinted his eyes.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand a word.
Chris said Ethan's birthday was this weekend. I asked around to find out what Ethan liked, hoping to make up for everything with this opportunity. Not getting a clear answer, I prepared a special birthday gift based on my understanding. After much persuasion, Ethan finally agreed to have dinner with me. In the private room of the restaurant, I proudly introduced my carefully chosen gifts.
Alex, this is your 1-year-old gift, babies like milk powder at that age. This is your 2-year-old gift, diapers, and this.
What do you mean?
Well, you're 21 this year, I didn't know what you liked, so I made up for every birthday gift you missed. Do you like it?
I opened each package, looking at him expectantly. His expression softened, and after a long silence, he spoke.
Although your gifts are strange, thank you, I like them very much.
Considering the gifts, what do you want to say to me?
I'll try to agree.
I hope you can forgive me. Sorry for always causing you trouble.
Okay, I forgive you. Anything else?
Well, actually, I really want to.
I hesitated for a moment, seeing his good attitude, I mustered up the courage.
I really want to ask you, where did you get the limited edition SpongeBob underwear? I really like that style.
He froze in place.
You've been so attentive to me just for this?
No. Mainly because I felt guilty, and I just asked in passing.
Lily, you're amazing.
I was confused.
You insisted I ask.
just wait and see.
He sneered, his tone dangerous. He left without taking the gifts or eating the meal.
Lily, you really have your eyes on my man.
Chris sent me a link.
Alex is deeply in love with you. I have no chance. Boo-hoo.
Who is this, using Ethan's name to confess to me? Are they crazy?
Based on his account activity and personality, I'm 100% sure it's Ethan.
Chris asked me what was going on, and I arranged to meet him in the cafeteria to explain while having dinner.
Clearly, Ethan misunderstood. Why drag me into it? The comments under that post say I'm ungrateful. I'm about to become the enemy of all the girls in the department.
You've been pestering him, and with people in the forum adding fuel to the fire, it's inevitable to be misunderstood. Ethan is like an untouchable high mountain flower, and in your heart, his charm is less than a pair of SpongeBob underwear. With his vengeful nature, that post is just the appetizer.
Bestie, help me out, get close to him and save me from this mess.
30 spicy hot pots?
Even 100 is fine.
No, my stomach can't handle that.
I laughed heartily, but suddenly my wrist was tightly grabbed.
Come with me.
Whatever you have to say it here.
I was afraid he would get angry, so I kept looking to Chris for help. Chris, being a coward, said he hadn't finished his homework and ran away.
Who is he, and why are you so close to him?
Chris, you've met him.
Haven't you seen the forum?
I saw it. I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to make you misunderstand.
Ethan took a deep breath and said seriously.
You are the electricity, you are the light, you are the only myth.
My DNA music library was triggered, and I instinctively continued.
I only love you, you are my.
That day, if I hadn't interrupted, you would have confessed.
This is a huge misunderstanding.
What I wanted to say was, you are my superstar.
He stared at me for a long time, then turned away coldly, adding,
I won't delete the post, deal with it yourself.
Ethan's post was pinned by the forum administrator, and I became a negative topic in the agriculture department. Even in public classes, people came to gossip, asking me for the secret to winning Ethan's heart. There is no secret, it's just that Ethan misunderstood, felt played, and didn't want me to have a good time. I pulled him off his pedestal, and he dragged me into the mud. To prevent the topic from escalating and to avoid becoming the enemy of the female students in the department, I decided to stay far away from Ethan. I've apologized and given gifts, I've done my best. If he keeps pushing, I won't play along. My mind was filled with thoughts of Ethan. I was so upset I couldn't sleep. I overslept in the morning, grabbed breakfast, and ran, bumping into someone ahead.
I'm sorry.
I tried to leave, but the person took my breakfast.
Senior, that's my breakfast.
He pretended not to understand.
Thank you.
It's not for you.
He was 6'3", raising his hand high. I jumped but couldn't reach his wrist. The bell rang, 3 minutes to class, my roommate called, the teacher was taking attendance. Before running to class, I stomped on his foot in frustration. The shoes looked familiar. I heard guys like AJ, so I bought a pair as his 21st birthday gift. He didn't accept them, so I asked his roommate to help deliver them. I bought gifts to please him, and he retaliated. During the break, I was starving and complained to my roommate about Ethan's pettiness. My roommate suddenly fell silent and signaled me. A chill came from behind, I turned trembling, and Ethan was staring at me, his gaze intense. He said nothing, but his eyes spoke volumes. I stood awkwardly, not intending to apologize. He said nothing, calmly placed the buns and porridge he bought, and left with a proud and aloof turn. Ethan and I have labs that are very close to each other. Strangely enough, when I was trying to apologize, I couldn't find him, but now, I run into him everywhere. I avoided all the routes that would overlap with his, yet I still bumped into him multiple times. He ignored me, looking straight ahead each time.
Ethan, are you that free?
Not calling me senior anymore?
I've never seen a senior who wanders around all day. Finished your research on the experimental field?
Thanks to someone's toxic USB drive.
Give me back the USB drive.
Once given, there's no taking it back.
Do you have a problem with me?
Lily, you started this.
The accident with the experimental field and the pig was my fault. If you hold a grudge, you can take my pants off for revenge.
His face turned red and then green.
So this is what you think of me.
I ignored him, imitating his high and mighty turn, and walked away, feeling great. This scene was photographed, and under the post, Ethan's fangirls said I was being dramatic, as if not cherishing Ethan was the greatest loss and regret of my life. Ridiculous, I couldn't wait to stay away from him. The latest reply, I like her, no matter how she treats me, I still like her. From Ethan.
Is he out of his mind? I've already apologized and made amends. Even if he's angry, he can't reply like this and drag me down. If I can't find a partner in the future, will he take responsibility?
Lily, you're not acting right.
And you're drinking. When he came looking for me with murderous intent, you ran faster than anyone. Are you really a good friend? Don't you like him? Go for it.
I don't dare. I value my life. The fact that he turned you into a shrew with his power shows his influence.
Shrew. You're the shrew. Ethan and I are at odds.
You didn't have such a bad temper before.
I never met such a petty man before.
Ethan's roommate revealed how much I used to fawn over him, and now how cold I am, even exaggerating that Ethan was so worried about me that he couldn't eat or sleep. Ethan liked and openly admitted it. I comforted myself, it must be his tactic, I won't fall for it. With finals approaching, I decided to focus on studying linear algebra. Although Ethan is petty, his academic prowess is undeniable. He can explain the most complex problems clearly. I sighed, at this moment, I'd rather fail than ask for his help.
Teaching you linear algebra is as good as a death sentence.
I promised you breakfast for a semester, and you agreed to tutor me.
Enemies meet on a narrow road. In the study room, Ethan sat at a nearby front table. Since I entered, he kept staring at me with a very unpleasant expression.
I laughed. The more unhappy he was, the happier I was. Chris nudged me, urging me to study hard. While I was distracted, Ethan left his seat. I didn't know where he went. Feeling restless, I put down my pen and went to the hot water room to queue for water.
Ethan suddenly appeared behind me, handing me a notebook. I didn't take it.
If you don't understand, you can ask me. He paused, then corrected himself. Ask Chris to help you.
No need.
He withdrew his hand, no longer speaking, his gaze steadily on me. I accidentally scalded my hand while getting hot water. Ethan quickly pulled me to the sink, turning the cold water on full blast to rinse my reddened skin. I couldn't break free, letting him handle me.
Such a grown-up, don't you know to watch the cop?
Who told you to keep looking at me? It made me nervous.
You used to cling to me all the time. Did I say anything?
You told me to stay away from you. I did it. It's you who keeps following me.
He smiled faintly.
Is it fun to be hot and cold to me?
Very fun. I've become the #1 on the forum's hot list. I'm so happy. Thanks to you, Alex.
He didn't respond. The water from the faucet flowed away. Seeing the wound soothing, he let go of my hand and left, his back showing a bit of desolation. His notebook fell to the ground, every page filled with his elegant handwriting.
No wonder he's the man I fancy.
Then go after him. Save him from bothering me every day.
You won't be angry if I pursue him?
Just thinking about Ethan being with someone else, even with Chris, made me uncomfortable. Chris sensed something was wrong with me, tentatively asking,
Lily, do you like him?
How could that be? I just want to apologize to him.
Yes, using the apology to get close. If he doesn't like you, you can find an excuse to back off, saving face.
Absolutely impossible.
Poor Alex, he likes someone as heartless as you.
Like me? He can't hate me enough.
From my observation, he's petty, but he wouldn't care about everyone's feelings. The only person he posts about on the forum and pursues relentlessly is you. How about we make a bet?
What bet?
30 hot pot meals?
Deal.
Do you believe if I get closer to you, he'll come over in a rage, maybe even punch me?
Saying that, Chris stood up, his eyes soft, full of affection, even reaching out to tuck a strand of my hair behind my ear.
Friend, don't look at me like that.
Shoo, the prey is about to take the bait.
Chris closed his eyes, pouting, his face getting closer to mine. A gust of wind came from behind. In a flash, a hand covered his face harshly.
Lily, save me!
Who is he?
Chris, didn't you ask before?
This is the good friend you mentioned?
What does it matter to you? Are you stalking me?
The words I said on the forum, didn't you see, or are you pretending not to understand?
What words?
Ethan took out his phone, opened the pinned post on the forum, and shoved it in my face.
Read it yourself.
Yes, I like Lily, but she doesn't like me. What does this mean?
If you don't understand Chinese, I don't mind posting it again in English, French, German, and Russian.
There's hope!
Chris made a cheering gesture and, afraid of being caught in Ethan's anger, grabbed his unfinished noodles and quickly left. I felt Ethan's intense gaze on me, but couldn't gauge his attitude.
Post it as many times as you want.
He suddenly bent down, his handsome face coming closer, his clear eyes reflecting my panic.
The distance between us shortened. I had a hunch about what he was going to do, and my heartbeat quickened. I had never done this before, so I followed what I saw on TV, closed my eyes, slightly tilted my head, and waited for his next move.
His kiss didn't come. I heard his soft laughter and opened my eyes, pouting and glaring at him.
What were you thinking just now?
Are you going to kiss me or not? Stop dawdling.
While he was stunned, I added,
Ethan, I like you. I want to be your girlfriend.
Without waiting for his response, I quickly pressed my lips to his soft ones. His eyes widened, displeased with my excessive initiative, but soon he took control. The night I confirmed my relationship with Ethan, he took me to the study room.
I admit, his notes were beautifully written, but I couldn't understand them.
He was very patient, explaining word by word. As I listened, I found his voice pleasant, his hand holding the pen attractive. My eyes couldn't help but wander up.
He was so handsome, my boyfriend, his lips so soft, I wanted to kiss him again.
Lily. What are you looking at?
Looking at you.
His cheeks turned slightly red, and he quickly put on a stern face, clearing his throat.
Pay attention.
Spare me, I really don't understand.
If you fail linear algebra, we'll break up.
Boo-hoo, am I less important to you than linear algebra?
It's your linear algebra that's important. Do you want to fail?
I shook my head vigorously. He straightened my head and explained the problems in simpler terms. After a while, I couldn't help but look at him again.
Don't look at me.
I felt wronged, and he softened his voice.
After the exam, ahem, you can look at me slowly.
We battled linear algebra until 9:30 p.m. Ethan finally let me go and thoughtfully walked me to the dormitory.
I found a secluded spot and asked him for a goodnight kiss. He lightly pecked my forehead, ruffled my hair, and gently said,
Lily, study hard and make progress every day. I really can't bear to see my girlfriend fail.
If the pressure is too much, I don't mind if you find another girlfriend, MMPH.
A domineering kiss silenced me. After he had kissed enough, he looked at my stunned expression, satisfied, and kindly reminded.
That's the price for saying the wrong thing.
Then I want to make more mistakes.
For the 25 problems I just gave you, however many you get right.
You'll kiss me that many times? No, I want double, 10 times.
Alright, if you get them all right, you can set any condition.
Before he could react, I had already said goodbye and rushed to the dormitory, pulling out my notes and writing furiously. I opened the forum and replied to Ethan's confession post, yes, I like Lily, but she doesn't like me.
Yes, I also like Ethan. We're together now.
Replies to the post surged, with some congratulating, some lamenting, and others saying, I told you Jenna had a plan all along. Before I could respond to the curious onlookers, I saw Ethan's reply.
Still have time to browse the forum? Finished reviewing linear algebra?
Scared, I immediately threw myself into studying, not daring to slack off. After the linear algebra exam, as I walked out of the exam hall, I saw Ethan standing in the crowded corridor. I spotted him instantly and bounced over to him, excitedly saying,
Thank you, darling, I did incredibly well this time.
He wasn't surprised, holding my hand and saying he would take me out to eat to celebrate my hard work. We passed a toy store, and through the window, I saw a SpongeBob plush toy. I dragged Ethan over, delighted as if discovering a new continent.
Look, this expression looks just like your underwear.
His kind smile instantly turned into a dark cloud.
Senior, since we're so close now, can you send me the link to your SpongeBob underwear?
Darling, with our relationship, I'll buy a few and give them to you.
A few days later, I excitedly opened a package to find 10 pairs of pink Patrick Star underwear. They're quite cute too, haha. Ethan was very pleased with my reaction, smiling and saying,
Good girl.
Although Ethan is petty and has a bad temper, always hiding a knife behind his smile, I can't help it. I like him. I opened the forum and replied to the classmate who said I had a plan.
Love is not something you plan. It's just that when I met him, I heard the sound of our hearts beating faster.
Before meeting Lily, I never thought my way of becoming well known would be having my pants pulled down.
In the agricultural college, some people called me Alex, the cool guy. My so-called coolness was entirely due to extreme social anxiety. I rarely talked to people and didn't like to interact. The only people I was close to were my roommates.
I never thought one day I would have my pants pulled down by a pig, nor did I expect a girl to kneel in front of me. Faced with such an embarrassing situation, my first reaction was to run quickly, trying to minimize my presence and let the matter die down as soon as possible.
Unfortunately, that girl named Lily had no awareness of this. She seemed to have an extraordinary social ability, and her eyes couldn't hide her emotions.
When she fell in front of me, holding the pig and losing her balance, although it was just a moment, I saw envy in her eyes. Envy of what? I couldn't figure it out.
Just like that, I went from being silently noticed to becoming the center of gossip. I was actually quite troubled. Now it seemed like everyone knew me, and I wished I could hide myself.
Until the next day, when Lily, with a straight face, dragged me to the men's restroom to force me to change my pants, I understood. Lily envied my legs, and then she directly complimented them? I had never encountered such a situation before. It was too socially awkward, so I immediately ran away to stay safe.
Feeling frustrated about the damage to the experimental field, Lily rushed over.
I'm a good Samaritan.
Yet the next moment, she almost ruined my experimental field.
Where did she get this inexplicable confidence? I was curious and puzzled.
She was very persistent, apologizing in various ways. She played a retro-style apology PPT on the podium and even altered a classic poem, speaking the lines like a rap.
I wished I could disappear. People around us started to jeer, and I felt extremely flustered. I also had an image to maintain, so I chose to respond with a cold smile.
I also browsed the forum, afraid of becoming the center of attention again. Ever since I met Lily, my name hadn't left the forum's trending list, and my mental state was at its breaking point.
Seeing people analyze that Lily's entanglement with me was out of affection, using the excuse of an apology to persistently pursue me, made me realize something. They made sense, and I suddenly understood what was going on in Lily's strange little mind. It was all about me.
So, I happily plugged in her USB drive. As soon as I opened the carefully prepared files, my computer warned of a virus and instantly crashed.
Affection my foot! She was here to sabotage me!
Before I could recover from the shock, Lily brazenly brought a man into my room.
I'm here to fix your computer.
But she flirted with him instead. I felt inexplicably upset, but fortunately, I always treated people coldly, so Lily didn't notice. Luckily, the computer was fixed, and Lily insisted on treating me to a meal.
I thought we could finally settle our grievances and return to a peaceful life. But when she fell into the school's obvious pond, I realized this girl's thought process was definitely unusual.
Her clothes were soaked, yet she foolishly protected my computer. I instinctively reached out to pull her up.
But she pushed my hand away and held the man's hand instead. Seeing the forum posts, I got angry.
You're jealous.
Jealous? How could I possibly like Lily?
But every time I closed my eyes, her image would pop up in my mind, sincerely apologizing, grinning mischievously, or looking anxious while protecting my computer. Lily came again, seemingly about to confess through a song. My heart skipped a beat.
Fortunately, I stopped her in time. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to face it. Thinking about the final exams, I felt helpless. How could she keep chasing me to apologize at such a critical time, not studying?
I told her to stay far away, hoping she would focus on her studies.
She clearly didn't understand my underlying message and even bought breakfast to wait for me.
I couldn't bear it, so I pulled her to tutor her in linear algebra. Her prepared birthday gift wasn't quite to my liking, but seeing her sincerity, I thought to myself,
being her boyfriend might not be so bad. What infuriated me was that she wasn't after me, but my underwear. I thought it was mutual affection, but it turned out I was performing a solo act.
I opened the forum and posted a confession, partly to spite her and partly because I didn't want to let go.
I might as well declare my claim, preventing her from causing more trouble.
For days, she kept avoiding me, but I couldn't help seeking her out, becoming more childish in the process.
Losing appetite?
I did stay up late organizing linear algebra notes, afraid she wouldn't understand. I broke it down into simple terms, but then I didn't know in what capacity to give it to her.
In the library, seeing her smiling with that man made it hard to breathe. I went to the hallway for air and saw her getting hot water. After much deliberation, I finally mustered the courage to give her the notes. Her cold attitude made me feel awful. I didn't know why we were being so awkward, and our few words were full of tension.
Worried about her burn, I specifically bought ointment from the infirmary.
In the cafeteria, seeing that man being overly familiar with her, I finally couldn't hold back.
In the end, I lost to Lily. Even in confessing, she had more courage than me. Oh well, I'm a top student, I won't stoop to her level.
Lily tiptoed back to put the diary in its place, then hid in the bathroom to text Chris.
Ha ha ha, poor you. My husband's diary doesn't even mention your name. That man? Ha ha ha.